You are listening to The Art of Sales. Everyone sells every day, and this is your source for conversational, real-world sales and prospecting methods that you are comfortable using and that get results. You'll help people buy instead of pushing them into being sold. Here's your host, Art Subcheck.
I'm going to share something that just happened a couple days ago. It was a great example of several mistakes that salespeople make all the time. But the person doing this was not a salesperson. She was a waitress. And it really is a good example of how most interactions that we have are truly sales situations. All right. So we had an early morning flight out of Phoenix, leaving for Denver. And we arrived early, got checked in, and had about 45 minutes to spare before boarding. So Pam and I went to one of the restaurants in the terminal that served breakfast. The waitress came over, obviously in a hurry based on how quickly she moved and spoke, and then said, "What can I get you to drink?" Now, we had already seen the menus and knew what we wanted, and I told her we were just ready to go ahead and just order. So she took our orders in a very business-like way. Nothing wrong with that, but it just seemed like we were being processed and not being connected with. All right, no worries. Now, a few minutes later, she brings by the waters along with the check. Now, this is before we even got the food, and points to the check and says, "There's a survey link here, and if you go online and fill it out, and if I get the most, I get a $500 gift card." Now, I was a bit surprised by that, so I simply replied politely, "Oh, okay." All right, so what was wrong with that whole situation? Well, let me break this down, and I'm going to compare it to what a lot of salespeople do. Now, asking someone to fill out a survey is not something new. However, how she went about it was all wrong. Now, here are the problems with what she did. Number one, first, she didn't establish a friendly, emotional connection right at the beginning. I would assume that someone who probably serves hundreds of people per week should know this. Maybe I'm wrong, but people are forming impressions within seconds of their first encounter with everyone. I've never been a bartender or a waiter. I always had sales jobs most of my life growing up, but I've certainly encountered my share of them. But I'll tell you what, if I was a server working on commission, which are tips, I would greet people with a great big smile, make eye contact, and greet everyone enthusiastically. And a little small talk or a compliment goes a long way here too as well. And that didn't happen. Now, number two, she asked for something before providing any value at all. She asked me to complete a survey before she even served us. Now, coupled with the fact she didn't make a good first impression, my feeling was, well, why would I want to do this for her? Now, this is similar to salespeople who ask for something without attaching any value. For example, the sales reps who call or email a prospect and immediately ask for something which is more valuable than money, and that's time. It's when they call and they ask for an appointment without giving a compelling reason for the prospect to even consider meeting, or even really consider staying on the phone. Oh, and also, as part of the previous point, she said she would win the gift card if she got the most surveys. Now, I consider myself a pretty nice, helpful, and generous guy, but the logical human reaction here is, well, that's all about you. What's in it for me? And so often salespeople leave that out in their initial outreach by email, voicemail, and the initial phone conversation. All right, so you might be asking, so what might have prompted me to fill out her survey? Well, as I mentioned, if she would have made a great first impression and then simply provided good service while continuing to be friendly and attentive. And then, at the very end, ask this question. So is everything great for you today? Now that's important. Here's why. Because if somebody would answer yes, now of course, that would set the stage for asking. And then, even if she joked that she was in a little contest to win a prize, that would have been appropriate in that case. And something else would be at play here, and that's the law of reciprocation. That would have kicked in and caused me to probably pull out my phone and do the survey. All right, so this is a great example of how so many human interactions are sales situations, and how being aware of the little things can provide wins for both sides. All right, hey, you know what time it is.
Your attitude will be iron. Every way you'll never feel what they say. It's the art of the sales. Quote of the day.
That's right. It's time for the quote of the day. Today's quote is from Vincent van Gogh. And Vinny, I can call him Vinny. We're on good terms. And Vincent said, "Great things are done by a series of small things brought together." Great things are done by a series of small things brought together. All right, hey, if you don't have yet my free ebook of 501 telephone sales tips, well, go get it. Go get it at my blog, which is smartcalling.com. And also, do a couple friends a favor. Let them know about this show. Send them to our show site, theartofsales.com, theartofsales.com. Thank you so much for investing your valuable sales time with me. Until next time, go out and make it your best sales day ever. I'm Art Sobczak.